connect to RDS from our EC2 Docker container. So previously we already created this EC2 instance, and we installed Docker, and we pushed our local Docker image of the ingredient API to the robust ECR, and then we pull it from this instance using Docker and start the container. But the container refused to start because of the database is not there. So now we have the RDS database, so we have the ingredient database table. So now we can start connecting to it and then start the container successfully by creating to the, connecting to the RDS we just created. Okay, so locally we can now connect to it, and we can get the record, right? We add Apple there. Now we want to do the same in the on the server side. Okay. One thing is last time we mentioned that this DDL to auto create, okay, so this is only used for a development and test, okay, so don't use it for production. This is going to be a little bit dangerous. You have create, you have drop, you have update, you have a lot of different kind of auto implementation of your DDL. Okay, so let's just connect to the EC2 instance. Okay, let's just open a terminal, and we go to the key folder, and then I think we have this. Okay, SSH-I, and the key, and then the value of the URL, the user, right? EC2 user is the default EC2 user name. Okay, and then our Docker is up, but the Docker of our ingredient API cannot be start up because we don't have the database connectivity. Okay, so now we have to remove this Docker, okay, ingredient API. All right, so we don't have the Docker container now, but we still have the image. Okay, so we need this image, but we just need to start a new container using the new database connection, okay, URL. And if you still remember, we will use where is it? Okay, we can just use this and grab Java. Okay, sorry, grab Docker run. Okay, so history will give us all the history commands, and then grep will just search. You can think of it as a filter, and Docker run, and here. Okay, so this is the command. We can just copy this to here. Oh, Control C, Control V. Okay, I think I did it multiple times. All right, and then here we have to give our parameter there. Okay, so the database parameter is this one. We want to override it, okay, because in the image it is a localhost 3306. We changed this last time to the RDS, so we can reuse this one. The good thing is username, password, they are keeping the same, so we don't have to change them. We can just paste it here. If you want to change, the same thing, okay, hyphen, and then change your username, okay, from here, and then change your password from here. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's duplicated, so we can just keep them there. Okay, so let's just start the container. And I didn't use the -d parameter, so we will see the logs directly printed out from the console. And you see here, it's trying to start our server, but it's not finished yet. Okay, so it's just waiting there. Now you should guess what's going on here. Okay, so our system still cannot be started. Okay, why? The username, password should be correct, and the URL was there. It's working in our local. So the only different thing is the network again, right? So the network is not connected. Why? Because of our security group again. So this is the security group issue. In our oops, not the EC2, in the RDS service. Where's our RDS? Let's go back to RDS, and the security group doesn't allow this server to connect. Okay, so this you can see the connection timeout. and let's just stop it. Okay, and then we go to RDS and go to the security group here. Okay, so then this security group only allows my home address to connect, or the security group of this. Okay, so here, and we can add the inbound row. We can add the server's IP address there. Okay, so we can also put MySQL, and here we can get the IP address of our EC2 instance, which is this one. Okay, so here. Okay, so this is through public network, because this is a public IP address, and our EC2 instance is in one VPC, and our RDS is in the default VPC, so they are actually not connected together. There are other ways, like we can create a VPC peer, so we can use internal network to connect from EC2 to VPC. But if you are crossing VPC connection, like we are doing here, so you either use internal, the public IP address, okay, or you create a VPC peer, okay, for that purpose. But let's just simplify this to use public IP address, and then we save the rule. Okay, now this should be working, but we stopped it. Let's just start it again. Once you run the container, it will be there. Okay, it will be created. The only thing is it cannot be started. So next time we don't need to remove it and start it again. We can just use docker start and then ingredient API. Okay, so we just need to start this container one more time. Okay, but in this case it's going to be in the background. Okay, we won't see the logs. In order to see the log, we can do docker logs and ingredient API. Okay, so you can see now we see the logs. Okay, and just now we stuck on here, right? So that's the line, and but now I can see everything is okay. Okay, so let's just run it again. Okay, you can see Tomcat started. All right, so that means it successfully started. It no longer gives the error of this like connection timeout. Okay, so to test it, we can just open the browser. Here, same thing, and instead of ingredient, we go to the IP address, okay, of the server. Copy this. Okay, so put it here. Hit enter. Right. So now it's stuck again. Okay, so it's keep rotating. What happened? Okay, so you should already know what if something is hanging there. Okay, either your network is super slow, or it's because the server didn't get the request. The traffic is not went through well. Okay, so you can see there's no traffic, there's no route, there's no route. The server didn't get a chance to reject. So it's because of what? So the firewall, right? Security group. We changed the security group of our EC2 instance, because now this EC2 instance doesn't allow me to access the 8080 port. So go to here, security group, and let's just look at the inbound rule. Okay, we only allow port 22 and 80. All right, so first of all, there's no 8080. So we can add this security group and add it inbound rule, add a rule, and then go to customer TCP 8080 port, and then here I can use my IP address. Okay, so this and save, and then go back to the browser. Okay, so now just stop, copy this. Okay, stop it, and then refresh it. Okay, now you see we got that data, right? ID is 1 Apple. Okay, so it works as the same as our local. Now we can just publicly access our database, change the data, and then we can get a new record, right? So it's like if we add a new one here, okay, so hit enter, and then don't forget to commit the change. Okay, so and then we can go here and then refresh. Okay, so now we get the data. All right, so now we are successfully connected, okay, from our Docker image, from the Docker container to our RDS database. Okay, sorry, I was keep using the wrong terms, especially the Docker image, Docker container, Docker. So I apologize for that, but you get the idea, right? So this the whole process is like this, and I keep using the wrong terms and some like a bad word sometimes, like for to describe something. But you get the idea that's more important. So far we learned how to create a RESTful API, how to connect to database, how to connect to local database, how to build the application and build the image and push the image to AWS and then create a server and then pull the image and then create a database in AWS and then connect to the database from both local and our server Docker container. Okay, so that's our quick wrap up. And we're going to talk more about AWS services, other services. Okay, thanks.